Hi, I'm Jason Hudson from Tenzig Technology, and today we're going to look at creating a dedicated VMware Horizon custom shell for our Tenzig Windows-based thin clients. Creating a custom shell gives us the ability to launch our user's desktop to run a single application at login, so that our end users only get access to what they need and nothing more. It also gives your system engineers and administrators a more controlled and secure desktop environment to set up and manage. It is also quite easily maintained should you need to change the applications your users need access to in the future. We are going to be using the Tenzig Universal Write Filter or UWF Wizard for this. That comes as part of the Windows Tenzig client build. On our Tenzig Windows client desktop, if we show hidden icons at the bottom right of our screen, we can see the UWF icon in there. And if we right-click on it, we have the option to select the configuration item. So we'll click this and the UWF Wizard will be displayed. Once inside the wizard, you will see the UWF Status tab as the initial display, and that this version of Windows is using Shell Launcher version 2. Shell Launcher 2 enables us to run UWP or Universal Windows Platform apps that can take advantage of secondary views and run on multiple monitors if required. For this demonstration, we will be setting up a dedicated VMware Horizon shell so that our user has specific access only to this environment after they have logged on. To begin with, we need to specify our default shell to be explorer.exe, so we have the ability to still control the Windows environment should we have any problems. So we click on Open File and select explorer.exe from within the Windows folder, and then click Default Shell. You will be asked if you're sure, so we click Yes. We are then informed that we need to reboot the thin client for these changes to take effect. We don't want to reboot just yet, so we click No. Now we need to set a specific shell to launch for our user named Thin Client User. We do this by selecting our local user from the drop-down list and then browsing for our application we wish to run each time that user logs on. In this case, we will look for the application VMwareView.exe in the program files x86, VMware and VMware Horizon View Client folder on C. We click Add Shell and answer Yes to the question, and click No because we don't want to reboot just yet. Now, in the Shell Launcher status window below, we click Enable, say Yes, and answer Yes to the reboot question, and wait for the client to boot back up again. Once the client has rebooted, if we go into the UWF configuration wizard again, we can see that the shell launcher status has changed to enabled and that the default shell is now version 2, custom shell host.exe. If we click on the custom shells tab in the wizard, we can also see our newly created custom shell options for our thin client user. Now, to complete this configuration, we will run a batch script on the desktop that will set our thin client user to be the default user that logs on during boot up. This will customize the device so that it will perform in a kiosk-type manner so that each time it's powered on or rebooted, the user always comes back to their familiar desktop experience. We double-click the Thin Client User Auto Logon script, press Y, and the Thin Client will reboot. Now that the device has rebooted, you can see it automatically logging on as Thin Client User that we specified by running the auto logon script earlier. Notice we are now presented with the Horizon Add Server icon, so if we double click this, we can enter our server name or IP address, click Connect, and we'll be asked to log in. I'm just using my standard username and password for this. Then I just click Login. Once logged in successfully, I get access to all the resources assigned to my user account. These could be virtual desktops or even published applications as shown here. If I double click onto my Horizon Instant Clone W10IC and just wait a short while, I'm logged into my VMware Windows virtual desktop. Before we wrap up today's presentation, I'll show you how to simplify the login for other users by predefining the VMware Horizon server we added earlier. This will enable our users to log straight in without ever needing to know the specific server details for their environment. System administrators can do this by logging on locally as the administrator and adding 2 key values to the registry that will define our domain and server names. I have reset the VMware Horizon connection for our thin client user, so you can see what happens after adding the registry entries. I will now log in as the administrator of the local machine, access the registry for this thin client, and add 2 new key values. We do this by running regedit from the command line, and then navigating to the registry key named HKey local machine, software, WOW 6432 node, VMware Inc., VMware VDM /client. Inside this key, we need to add 2 new string values. These are domain name and server URL. We right-click inside the key window, select New, and then click String Value. This one will be domain name, and for me specifically, the domain is going to be Bossa Nova. Now we add another string value named server URL, and this is going to be https://10zig-uk-hzn.bossanova.net. Your administrators can also export this predefined registry key so it can be run at logon or during a run once operation after a thin client has been reimaged and boots cleanly for the first time. Simply click File, Export, and then type in the reg file name you wish to save it as. Now we can close the registry editor and then log off so that our thin client user can log on automatically and see what's happened. Now that the thin client user has logged on, notice the server is already connected. So we simply key in our credentials and log in. This concludes today's demonstration on how to build a custom shell for a VMware Horizon connection on your 10zig Windows client. I hope you enjoyed the session, and remember, if you have any questions regarding this or related topics, then please contact your 10zig team or visit the website at www.10zig.com.